Hey everybody, it's a beautiful day here in the city of Capelle aan den IJssel, which is about 5 minutes away from Rotterdam. And check this out. I'm walking through a typical Dutch neighborhood. Apartment buildings. And I'm on my way to the train station of Schollevaar, and that will bring me to Den Haag Central Station, and from there on I'm gonna take the tram to Scheveningen. That's right, Americans or everybody who speaks English has problems to pronounce Scheveningen. Scheveningen, that's right. That is the beach nearby Den Haag. And today I'm gonna meet up with Mo. I've had a lot of requests from my Indonesian followers. Why don't you meet up with an Indonesian and let him or her tell his or her story? Well, today, since I'm in the Netherlands, and in the Netherlands, the Indonesian diaspora is huge. So I'm taking the opportunity to meet up with an Indonesian, with Mo. His name is actually Mohammed, but Mo for me. All right, let's go up and meet up with Mo, and then we're going to Scheveningen. Did you know, from the almost 18 million people living in the Netherlands, 1.3 million is taking the train to work on a daily basis. 1.3 million. That's freaking awesome. So my connecting train from Rotterdam Central Station to Den Haag Central Station is leaving in 10 minutes. So it gives me the opportunity to wander around, and I want to show you something typical Dutch. Snacks. Typical Dutch. Snacks. Warm out of pretty cool, huh? So I'm here now in the beautiful Scheveningen. So try to repeat, right? Scheveningen. I know for you English speaking people it is a pain in the butt to pronounce Scheveningen, but it's easy, Scheveningen. I'm here with Mo, but I always change the names from Mohammed to Mo, but he's gonna introduce himself to all of you.
Hey, good afternoon everyone. This is Mohammed from Scheveningen. Today I'm sitting here with Michael from Southern California, but he's also a Dutch man, but he's also an Indo, so he is able to speak Bahasa Indonesia. So we're gonna discuss a little bit about history and see what happens.
So Mo, tell the viewers, where were you born and what made you move from Indonesia to the Netherlands?
Okay, so I was born in 13th of January 1996 in Tangerang. It used to be part of West Java, but it's now in province of Banten. And then I studied civil engineering back then in Universitas Indonesia in 2013. And then after that, I moved to the Netherlands after I worked for a couple of years in Indonesia. So in 2019, I moved to the Netherlands. I studied in Delft University of Technology, majoring in construction and management. The reason is that the Dutch are known with their, civil infrastructure, how to build like, civil structures that, help society from water floodings, because in the past, the Netherlands were pretty much surrounded by waters. And then, basically that's what fascinates me, and I will learn more from the Dutch way to equip my knowledge and also implement what I've learned so far. That's why I'm coming to the Netherlands. And in addition to that, in the past my dad used to had like a short course 1 year in Delft University of Technology. In the past the name was TU Delft, Technische Hogeschool Delft. But since that period my dad kept telling me over and over again. So he inspired me to also come here to pursue like higher knowledge and get more experience here in the Netherlands. Yeah, so
beautiful.
Those pretty much the two reasons why I'm coming to the Netherlands. And here I am.
So it runs in the family then?
It's pretty runs in the family.
And do you have siblings?
I have siblings. We are 4 siblings. I'm the
boys, girls?
We're all boys.
All boys.
4 siblings. I'm the latest child in my family. I'm the youngest.
And they're also graduated in technical engineering or a different route?
I think all of us are pretty much revolving around engineering. So my dad is a he's a physics engineer, and then my brother, my first brother, he is an electrical engineer. My second brother is a petroleum engineer, and my third brother he studies statistics, but he works around electrical engineering these days. And me myself pretty much related with the construction, so it's civil engineering. So we are an engineering family.
Mo, during your high school days in Indonesia, what did the students learn about the former Dutch East Indies, which is Indonesia now, and was there a lot of attention to it or just general history?
In retrospect, in high school period, I don't recall that much about the Dutch East Indies history, but I think during my period in elementary school, I was taught about some histories, of course, related to the occupations of Indonesia, that we were occupied for 350 years, and then it was a very rough and harsh time for Indonesians because our nature were exploited, and we are, forced to do some plantations and with low wage and salaries. So a lot of sufferings are happening. And then we were, as I said, it was 350 years being colonized by the Dutch. And then we got an independence in 17th of August 1945. But after that, up until 1949, we had a so-called Bersiap tide, and a lot of people call that. It was a harsh period again between the Dutch and Indonesia. It's basically a military aggression where the Dutch try to capture back the control of Indonesia, because just before 1945 there was a Japanese occupation around 3.5 years. I mean, it was short, but it was also very, very harsh. In Dutch we had kerja rodi, and in the Japanese period we had so-called romusha. So it's pretty much the same activity where like the locals were exploited to do labors. And then after the fall of Japanese control in Indonesia, the Dutch sent their troops to Indonesia, and then a lot of massacres, basically fights between Indonesian pemuda, or like freedom fighters versus Dutch soldiers. And then it wasn't until 1949 that the Dutch government officially accepted Indonesian independence, after we fought in military effort and also diplomatic efforts. That's what I know so far.
So we were talking about your opa and oma.
Yeah.
They spoke Dutch, I assume, right? Because they were born in...
primarily my opa.
Yeah, your opa. Did he join the KNIL or he did not? And where was he when the Bersiap time was there? Was he in Tangerang or was he still in Makassar? And what happened to him?
Yeah, so as far as I can remember, my opa himself, he basically supports the Indonesian independence, even though that he attended Mulo. So just for a context, not like everybody is in the colonial period of Indonesia or Dutch East Indies are able to go to school, especially attending the Dutch school. I would say that he was quite privileged to attend it because of his status. And then during the period of Bersiap Tide, he's pretty much in South Sulawesi together with my oma, my grandma.
Yeah.
He stayed in Makassar. That's what I know. And during the period, I think he managed to avoid like the military conflict, so he's pretty much safe. So basically he lived until 1998.
98, okay.
Yeah.
What do you know about him?
Yeah, in retrospect, in elementary school I didn't really recall his name. It wasn't until my dad told me about the history that was discussed at home. I mean, it's not really a discussion, but he said like my grandpa from the side of my dad, because it's a different coin. My opa from my mother's side, he attended Mulo. I think it's a bit privileged, but my opa from my dad was a little bit living in a different life. So he fought against the Dutch during the Bersiap Tide, and then he fell off, so he died during the war. So who is Raymond Westerling? So he's let's say a general of a special forces deployed in Indonesia, and the Dutch call him the Turks. So because he was born in Turkey, in Istanbul, and then he has like a Turkish descendant. But what I know is that he's specialized in a silent killing. So he's not specialized in having a combat with the guns, but he killed in silence, like in a very, very silent situation, and not a lot of people, without sound, without trace. And then what I knew is that he was trained initially in England, and after that he went back to the Netherlands to help the liberations of the southern Netherlands, because it was colonized by Nazi Germany in that time. And after that, due to that, he was later sent to Indonesia, Dutch East Indies, and then he was initially arrived in Sumatra, in Medan. And after that, he moved to Batavia, the former name of Jakarta. Doing several operations, basically between the period of 1945 and 1949. The Dutch kingdom tried to recapture the control in Indonesia, because after the Japanese period, and then Indonesia wants to gain independence after the declarance of independence in 1945, 17th of August. The Dutch saw that as a threat, so he basically was part of task to regain the control in Indonesia. So the Dutch sent him over, and then he led like special forces with several people. And then what interesting is that because of his ability to gain intelligence, you know, blending with the locals, being able to speak the language, and I think it's also married an Indonesian lady, if I'm not mistaken. So he's showing his ability to help, you know, the military in getting intelligence. But after that, he's going a little bit independent with his way. That's why there is a book that was written by like a French historian. The book is called Westering the Endling. So he's a lone wolf, because he's pretty much doing like how do we call that, the operation by his gut feeling and his intelligence, without waiting for the command from the, you know, from above. And he was sent to South Sulawesi. Just to put the context, Indonesia is very big. You know, we have 17,000 islands.
Yeah.
And then Sulawesi is one of the biggest islands where it was trying to also maintain the independence after we declared independence, because it was a very dynamic situation. And then there was a president of the Dutch, and then he was sent there to, let's say, do a pogrom of rebels. So there was rebels called the ITI. So it was pretty much the organization led by Karl Muzakkar. He was the leader of an Islamic organization to maintain the control of South Sulawesi. And he massacred a lot of people in South Sulawesi. So things like summary killings, and then killing without trials, and then for those who are lying or hiding like the truth, he was being executed immediately. So it was a very hard situation. And yeah, unfortunately my oppa is one of the like Indonesian army, so there was Indonesian military, national military, trying to also fight the Dutch, because we're trying to maintain our sovereignty. And then my grandpa from my dad's side is basically on Indonesian side, so of course we want to make sure that we are retaining our independence. So he fought against the Dutch, but unfortunately my oppa fell down because of he was shot by a gun from the, you know, army from one of the western sides.
So your oppa from that side?
Yeah, my oppa is from that side. So he fought against the Dutch by
during
the Bersiap tide.
Yeah.
So he's defending our country to fight against the Westerling occupation, I would say.
So he died on in South Sulawesi.
South Sulawesi. He was buried in the National Hero Monument in Marwangin, South Sulawesi.
Oh, so your oppa is there. His graveyard is over there.
His graveyard is also over there. So if we are heading from Makassar to Toraja, for sure, like you're all gonna pass that graveyard.
Yeah.
Because it was quite a monument in a city called Marwangin.
Marwangin.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for your contribution.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Mo, we're now in the Kurhaus. And who is this?
I'm Randana from Batavia Trade.
There you go. So we're going to the Indonesian exhibition now. Before you came to the Netherlands, where did you learn to speak Dutch? From your parents, grandparents, or?
To me, I actually took a Dutch class in Indonesia. Erasmus University. Erasmus House in Scheveningen.
Yeah.
Was it mandatory before you study abroad, or you just did it voluntary?
Voluntary. It's like going to stay here for 2 years for study, and I already planned to stay after my studies. Yeah, why not learning their languages?
Yeah.
So, and this is still true, because I used to date an Indonesian girl in the 80s who wanted to become a lawyer, and she told me anyone who is gonna be a lawyer in Indonesia, they have to mandatory learn to speak Dutch. Is that true, or is it just that's what she told me?
I'm not sure. But like some people who study law, for sure they're gonna find it more beneficial to study like Dutch because some of the terminologies in law in Indonesia are written in Dutch, like beds and regelings, and yeah, a lot of Dutch words, you know, being used for law terms in Indonesia.
Got it. Now you live here already. For how long you live in the Netherlands?
I've been here for 5 years.
5 years. About you?
Yeah, roughly about 5 years, here and there.
You're married. You have a child. You're married?
Not yet.
No. You speak Dutch or Indonesian at home?
I speak Indonesian at home.
Indonesian.
Yeah.
Your little boy?
Also speaks Indonesian, but he's picking up Dutch because he's going to preschool before going to elementary school when he's turning 4.
There you go.
Yeah.
Let's go. Okay, let's go home. So Mo, since you've been living here in the Netherlands, it's a different kind of cuisine over here.
Of course,
right?
it is. Yes.
It's potatoes. It's complete. Don't you miss Indonesian cooking?
Actually, not because my wife's cooking Indonesian dishes every day, so I don't feel like far away from home.
It makes sense, yeah.
So it's gonna be, yeah, for me it's easy because I'm grateful to have Indonesian wife, and then she is really into Indonesian food, and then always learning to, you know, advance the recipes every day.
Makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, and also like a lot of this, I think this is my opinion, like a lot of people found that it's a bit challenging to find food, but here in the Netherlands, if you like try to put more effort, I think it's easy to find like international foods, for example, Turkish food, of course Indonesian foods, right? And like Greek food and Italian and other Asian cuisines is also very accessible if we want to put more effort. So yeah. So for me, it's not, especially here in The Hague.
There you go. So you said she's cooking Indonesian food now. Where do you get the ingredients?
Mostly we get the ingredients in Asian stores, for example, Amazing Oriental or Wah Nam Ong, or Oriental, sometimes now it's a bit more common that like the Turkish shops they also sell Indonesian spices or ingredients. Or you know, it's also very common to see like Jumbo or Albert also have some Asian stuff. So yeah, for me it's a lot of choices to find Indonesian ingredients or Asian ingredients. It's pretty much accessible these days.
You are more into home cooking Indonesian or going to Indonesian restaurants? Because there's on every corner here in the Netherlands you have an Indonesian restaurant, you know, or prefer
I think it's at home because eating Indonesian food outside it's very expensive, you know, like the effort and the time invested to prepare Indonesian dishes is enormous. So yeah, we do the trade-off by doing
at home.
At home.
There you go. Yeah. Let's go home then. Yeah. So we're leaving the Kurhaus. Look, Kurhaus. And this is Scheveningen. There you go. Scheveningen is known of the Kurhaus, and of course over there is the Holland Casino. So we have to go on the tram, right?
Yeah.
So I think we crossed the street. Okay, Mo, so we're in the tram right now. We're going home. What's your opinion on Dutch transportation? I already told them earlier that from the almost 18 million people living in the Netherlands, 1.3 million is taking public transportation to work. How often do you depend on public transportation, or do you drive yourself with a car?
Yeah, for me, Dutch transportation system are reliable and well connected to each other,
For sure.
which is a very good sign. So for me, also with the family here living in the Netherlands, did not need to be dependent on cars. So we don't have car. We are cycling, walking. Everything's within reach. 15 minutes, so which is a very good sign.
It is.
And then I can opt for a bus or the train or tram, so everything's within reach of 15 minutes. And then yeah, for me also a bit flexible, because having cars here, we are paying a lot of taxes and also for parkings, and also sometimes we are thinking, what's the point of having cars when we have reliable public transport?
That's for sure.
So yeah, I think it's a very good system to learn, especially to implement in Indonesia. Because for example, we are having more infrastructure and transportation means to be built in Indonesia right now.
But right now Indonesia, I mean, I've been there in February this year.
Yeah.
I must say the connection from Jakarta, from Jalan Tamrin to Cilandak,
Okay.
that train you can sleep on the floor. It's so clean. I took also the bullet train.
Yeah.
But yeah, transportation in
Is it
Jakarta
like a commuter train, or it's an MRT?
MRT.
Oh,
It's an
MRT.
MRT.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You can explain what's MRT?
Yeah, so basically MRT is the mass rapid transit. I think it was officially in operation in 2018 because we hosted Asian Games.
That's true.
And then it was of course in Jakarta, and MRT is very important means of transportation to drive people around. So it's very flexible, and now I think we are expanding MRT phase 2. It's heading from central Jakarta or South Jakarta up to the north. And so it's going to be connecting from south to north as well. I think it's the second corridor. And yeah, I mean, even if like the situation in Jakarta's traffic is a bit problematic, but I've seen several changes across the years that like BRT, bus rapid transit are more common. We see buses, and then MRT is being expanded, and then.
So finally, Mo, for the viewers in Indonesia, you were privileged to study in Indonesia, then study abroad. Those not privileged, they have a dream to go abroad. What is your message to them so they can also follow the dream and start a future in the Netherlands or in the United States? What would you tell them?
I would say study hard, study smart, and build connections as much as you can. What I meant about the study hard is that, of course, you need to sharpen your hard skills. For example, if you're into engineering, try to learn physics, math, and chemistry, for example, whichever major that you are about to take. I try to master some of them or one of them. And also soft skill, don't forget to train your communication skills, also social skills to find information, networking, and also don't forget about language. Language is very important. I think it's a very important tool to open your world, because with the language, especially with English, it opens a possibility to tell the stories, tell yourself, and explain about your uniqueness. And lastly, because when we've been trying so hard and sometimes it's not happening, we have to admit it and try to evaluate what's missing, what's not, and try that again. So keep yourself chasing your dream, even if it's not like always, you know, being
Given,
accepted
yeah,
or
yeah.
given. You know, always try, push hard, and eventually will get
It'll
there.
happen.
Yeah, it'll happen.
Perfect. Well, good message. Thank you for sharing everything with us. Guys and dolls, don't forget to follow Sokol Indo. Leave a comment. We will always respond. And see you next time.
Bye bye.
Bye.